Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I will show you a very instructive game in the London, which will help you learn a lot of different attacking ideas. Now, this game was played by Gata Kamsky. Kamsky played the London before everyone else played the London. Kamsky used to be one of the top players in the world. He's a little bit older now, so he's not there. He's also known for an interesting incident which happened to him at a Chess 24 event where he did things and got a nickname of FFL. You can look up what it's connected to because it's not as appropriate as some people would like. But he is a good chess player, and this is an interesting and instructive game which he played. The game began with d4, d5, bishop f4, knight f6, e3, white, the old main line, white is going to build a pyramid, c5, and Kamsky switches to the new main line. After knight c6, as I discussed previously, we don't want to play c3 right now because queen b6 will be really annoying. You can consult my previous videos to see why, which is why we play knight c2. And black can of course play queen b6, and this will become very sharp because what will happen is white will take the pawn. Let me show you the next couple of moves. White will take the pawn, black will take on b2, white will play rook b1 with tempo. The queen doesn't really want to take this pawn because then it has few available squares on this line. So it will go to a3 or c3, so let's say c3, and then bishop b5, and this becomes really sharp. Okay, this is a story for a different time, and I'll show you this line later. In this game, black played the second main move, which is pawn e6, and after c3, we transposed into the normal London, and black has a decision to make. Does he take here first? Does he bring the bishop here and castle? Or does he play bishop d6 and challenge our bishop? And black chose the main move, bishop d6. Now, we don't really want to take because it will improve black's queen. So, usually we drop. And the point is, if black takes, we will take with this pawn and open the rook. So, usually black will wait for us to castle, and then black will take. Black castles right away. Bishop d3. Okay, the usual London move. We have a good bishop. And black plays the main move, pawn b6, to reinforce the pawn and to play bishop b7. Kamsky doesn't rush to castle because, well, we might want to attack on the king side. And we improve the queen. We make an e4 a little bit more possible. And we are freeing up this square for our rook. Bishop b7, which was the point of b6. Rook d1, rook e8. So black has some dreams of pushing, and Kamsky now decides to push. The threat, of course, is e5. Taking leads to some uncomfortable lines. For example, if let's pretend black takes, we'll take with a knight. Now we're double attacking this. We're double attacking this. So black doesn't really want to take because it will open our rook. So let's pretend he takes. Now we take here. And now the point is we have a rook on this line. So we're threatening to take this pawn, which will double attack the bishop. And the bishop cannot take back because there will be a free queen. And let's pretend queen moves to c7 to sidestep everything here. Well, now we have a fun move. We can take on h7. After king takes, we have a Greek gift, knight g5, queen comes, and this is really fun for white. But that, again, is not what happened here. Here, black played the main move, bishop e7. But this is not very comfortable for black, because after e5, Computer says it's even, but in practice, it's much easier to play these positions as white. And yes, you can see on the highest level, white won 56% and black won only 8% of the games. Going to d7 is not so great because defending the king becomes harder. So black plays knight h5. Now, on h5, it blocks the idea of moving our pawn. And it's somewhat annoying to get rid of this knight. And Kamsky comes up with a very interesting idea. So, first he stops black's counterplay. Because what black wants to do is black wants to take this pawn. After we take back, he wants to play knight b4. If we drop our bishop, then he wants to play bishop a6. And all of a sudden, black's pieces are activating. So, Kamsky, before doing anything, plays a3 first. To take control of this square now, after takes, he doesn't need to worry about things showing up on b4. Okay. The problem for black is black needs counterplay. The middle is closed. He doesn't want to do stuff on the king side. That's where he's being attacked. So the only way to do things is to do stuff on the queen side. So black plays pawn c4. Kamsky drops all the way to b1. The point is we want to have an extra option of putting our queen here. If we play bishop c2, we do not have that option. Black plays g6 immediately to allow for his knight to come back. If he ignores things and just continues with his plan, let's pretend he plays something like a5. Well, we play h4. He doesn't really want to take, because now when we take, now we have ideas like this and possible great gifts, and we have a very nice attack. If black, let's say, continues to through b8 to cause more trouble, we now drop our bishop to h2, which was the point of h4, and the point of dropping the bishop, now we are preparing g4. And we are not worried about this pawn, because if black gets greedy, we play g4 and trap the knight. The knight has no squares, and in addition, we still have very nice attack. So let's go back. Black played g6, but there is a downside to g6. The dark squares now become weak. And Kamsky immediately asked, how do I take advantage of it? And he realized that it could be nice to bring the knight here. It will be this knight because this knight is not participating in the attack. Knight f1. Black continues with counterplay on the queen side. Knight e3. a5. Knight g4. And now we control the squares. b4 by black. Black is continuing with his counterplay. Kamsky doesn't rush queen e3. Improves the queen. Again, working on the dark squares. Black takes. Kamsky takes back. It looks like we're giving up this pawn. But there are more important things in life than just pawns, because the problem for black is his bishop needs to cover the dark squares. Because if here we play bishop h4, tagging the queen, if the queen moves, the dark squares are ours. If the bishop drops back, now we play knight h6 check. If the king goes here, we fork. That's simple. So the king has to go here or here. If he goes here, it takes away the square from the knight. We cannot trap it yet because our bishop will get captured. So we are going to take the bishop first with tempo, and whatever he takes back with, then we trap the knight. And if black goes to f8, well, now we can again trade here. He takes with whatever, doesn't matter. Let's say queen takes. Now we kick the knight. The knight has to move to g7. Now we play knight g5, and we're attacking this. We're attacking this. By the way, this is a checkmate. So this is getting really uncomfortable. Also, if we take here, we're coming back to this square. Again, weak, dark squares. Which is why black did not go for this. Instead, rook b8. He wants to invade with the rook. Kamsky comes up with a very smart move. So what Kamsky realized is that this bishop is the best defensive piece which black has. It helps to ensure the dark squares. So what do? Well, we want to trade it off. Again, we don't really mind if black takes with the knight, because after this trade, we can pawn storm. So black continues with counterplay. Bishop g5. Kamsky wants to trade. Black invades with the rook. Rook b3. Kamsky has some ideas of pushing this pawn later. Black brings the queen. Okay, we need to respond to this. Nothing crazy, just bishop c2. Attacking the rook. Black wins a pawn, but it doesn't matter, because his attack here is very, very slow, and we are breaking through. So first, Kamsky gets rid of the dark square bishop. Black took back with the knight. The reason black took with the knight wants to be able to come here and cover the dark squares. Kamsky now plays queen h6, and he has ideas of knight f6, with checkmate coming up. If black takes, we take with the pawn, and again, there is a checkmate. So black has to play knight f5, covering the squares, but of course, this is a very nice defensive knight, so we get rid of that knight. Black cannot take with this pawn. This is just suicide. There will be a check, and again, checkmate coming up very soon. After this, we mate on this square, so he cannot do that. So black takes with this pawn. Now, the problem for us is if we play knight f6, it's very well covered. So instead, we use another dark square, knight g5, threatening to do things here. Black defends. Notice, this is actually very instructive. We're pinned over here, so we cannot take with the pawn, and we could take with the knight, but black can take back. And again, we are pinned. So Kamsky comes up with a very nice move. He unpins, but he also threatens to take here. And notice, this knight is overworked. He defends this pawn, which means he cannot do things on the other side. So black plays f4, not too many good moves. Knight d5 happens, the queen is attacked, the knight is attacked. So black plays here again. We could take, but black just takes back, and we're pinned. So Kamsky says, now we're not pinned. And black resigned, because now we can take here. Again, black cannot take us with the knight, because we checkmate like this. And black cannot take us with the queen, because now we can take the knight, and we checkmate here. And so black resigned, and this is a very nice game, which shows you how to attack with the London, even against very, very strong opponents. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe, and I will be back soon. Thank you.